In this video, I'm going to give you a brief overview of the smart plug functionality in the mining tools. One of the newly added features of the mining tools is the ability to also use smart plugs, such as the TP-Link Casa line. I personally tested this with the KP115, which I actually have a link to over here on Amazon. There should be a link down in the description below. I like the energy monitoring ones, and the reason for this is if you're trying to benchmark your algorithms and identify the power consumption as well as the hash rate, this allows you to do all of that from your phone. So you can what I like to do is I like to benchmark on the computer through HiveOS, launch the flight sheet, pull up my phone, monitor the power consumption, record the power consumption. This allows you to do that without having to constantly go to a wall, be near your rig, whatever it may be. So these are really nice. They're inexpensive. Now, one thing to keep in mind, they're only rated for 1800 watts. So just keep that in mind. This specific one is 110 volt, but they do have a 220 version as well. But it's still only rated at 1800 watts max. So just keep that in mind. The unit I used for testing, if we come in and take a look at this, you can kind of see my power consumptions at the wall. On this specific rig, I never go over 685 watts. And this is mining Compal plus CPU mining at the same time. So this is kind of my max load hash rate and power that I'm ever going to see. Obviously that's a third of what the unit can handle. Perfectly fine. I would try not to go over 1500 watts. Kind of keep with that 80% power rate limit, kind of. It's really not a limit, but it's just a recommended max for full-time load. Try not to go over 1450 to 1500 watts. So with that in mind, if that does work out for you, TP-Link does make these Casa units. You can pick one of these up, and what you can do is you can head over to your rig. I'm actually going to edit this one. Under the smart plug type, you can pick Casa. Under the host, you can plug in the IP address of the unit. What I like to do is I like to go into my router. If you look at the unit or even open up the app, it'll have the MAC address. You can go into your router and your DHCP settings, and you can set a static IP for that MAC address. So no matter where you move it to, if you hook it up to a repeater, an extender, it'll still maintain that static IP. So that's what I like to do for each of these. So I know that this one is actually 192.168.1.91. So I'm going to plug that in. And here I'm going to specify the minimum profit. So the way this is going to work is if profitability drops below whatever threshold I defined, it will turn off the plug, which will turn the unit off. It'll remain off until profitability returns. Once it's above my threshold again, it will supply power back to that plug, which will boot the rig up into HiveOS, and it'll start mining. So if we just take this as an example, I've got an 8-card RX 560 rig plus CPU mining. So let's just say at a minimum I wanted this to make 0.09 cents, right? That would kind of be 1 cent per card plus another cent for the CPU. So if I do that, hit update, give it a minute to load here, and then anytime it runs through its profit switching routine, it's going to look at everything under it, and there has to be at least 9 cents profit for that machine to turn on. And like I said, right now right, we're looking at negative 60 cents. So this is going to remain off until profitability gets reached. It'll boot it right up, and then it'll start mining. Set this threshold to whatever you want. It is profit based, so just keep that in mind. It's not coin stacking based. So it was really geared more towards, if you want to turn your rigs off until they're profitable again, you can certainly use this to do that. This can be really useful right now for the swings in Ergo. I know it's stabilized a little bit now, but compared to what it was, but there still are kind of moments where Ergo can become super profitable and then drop back down into the negatives. If you only want to mine true profitability, you can use this setting. It'll keep your rig off. Once it's profitable, it'll power it up, start hashing away, and then once it becomes unprofitable again, it can turn it back off. So that's really it for this video. I just kind of wanted to show you guys that function. You do have to be on version 2.5.7. So if you're interested in using this, make sure you upgrade your instance to at least version 2.5.7. Grab yourself a smart plug, and actually if we head over to the Casa website, just real quick, we can take a look at their products. And I like to look at the plugs. One thing I will mention here, right now this doesn't work with their power strips. If we pull up the power strips, I don't have one of these. I should probably get one of these just to test it out, but it actually has independently controlled outlets. So right now, the way the tool works is it only turns on and off a single unit. So I'm not sure how that would work with these. So just bear that in mind. Same thing with this. This could be useful if you have a split power supply. So if you got two power supplies on one rig, potentially this could be useful. Again, control with a single tap. It allows you to turn it on and off with a single switch. I have not tested this. I know this is intended for outdoors, but it looks like this would probably work as well. I'm not sure what the power rating on this is, so keep that in mind as well. Make sure you do your due diligence. Check and see if this one is 15 amp as well. Where's the KP? Here's the KP115. This is the one with the energy monitoring that I have, that I recommend. They also have the HS105, which is basically the same unit without the energy monitoring. And then I believe the HS110 is the one that is 220 compatible with an adapter. Like I said, I haven't tried all of these. I do have a 105. I've got a couple 105s, and I've got a couple 115s. So just keep that in mind. Other than that, drop me a comment below. Let me know your thoughts. And if there's any other smart plugs you guys are using that you'd like to see support for, definitely let me know what those are. I could probably go ahead and pick them up, get them coded, tested, and get them added to the mining tools.